Seasoner
and Co.
Welcome to
Second-Hand Haunting.
where we went on a ghost tour and we'll tell you our first-hand experiences so you'll get it second-hand and try and make sense of it.
Don't make fun of us.
Not us. And we'll try not to make fun of the tour too much.
No.
Or give away too much.
No.
But Amber and I went to the National Railway Museum.
Yes, we went to the National Railway Museum for this tour from Haunted Horizons, is that right?
Yeah, we went to good old Adelaide Haunted Horizons for a ghost tour and ghost hunt.
So the Railway Museum is out in Port Adelaide.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a bit of a drive for us.
Yeah.
Probably the furthest away from our house that we've been to so far.
Yeah, not counting international travel, but yes.
Aye, that's true. Yeah, fair point. All right, correct me on my own podcast.
It's tradition.
Or an old charter or something.
Yeah, so there's a lot of history in that area. I used to work out at the Waterside Workers' Hall, only like 5 minutes walk.
That's right.
And that place, there were a lot of noises, which I'm sure were building noises, but still, that's one of the creepiest buildings I've ever been in, and it was in Port Adelaide.
And who kept coming knocking at your door when you were working there, Amber? Trying to set up a ghost tour of the Waterside Workers' Hall.
Yes, we did get calls, apparently, from companies asking, can we use your venue as a ghost hunt location? My boss always said no.
Oh, shame.
Which is fine.
Because I'm sure these other companies did a whole bunch of research and realised there was a bunch of deaths in the Waterside Workers' Hall that they could reference on the
Well,
tour.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think I ever knew any history to that effect.
And they
It
don't
seems
just-
odd that someone would die in a union hall.
Yeah. And they don't just find an old building first and foremost and figure out everything else afterwards.
Yes.
So the Railway Museum.
Which apparently the Railway Museum contacted them and wanted them to come and investigate.
Ah. They were in need of some funds after dark.
I think it's a good idea if you're a business that's in need of some extra money and you own your building and you have the ability to rent it out.
And you don't mind people walking through your premises nightly telling people how many people have died on the premises?
Yeah, sure, if you're up for that. I mean, if you're a skeptic and you don't believe in an afterlife,
Then you make money from
you
it.
probably feel like you're grifting them.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't delve too deep into the who's grifting who in the ghost hunting community.
Yeah.
So, the ghost hunt we went on. Look, I don't just want to give a blow-by-blow of what we did on the night. And I don't want to repeat their stories.
No.
Because that's their property that they've written. I mean, they've researched and present.
Yes. You should go and do it if you're interested, listeners.
Yeah. But what I think it is fair for us to go through is our favourite bits of the tour.
Yep.
And then what happened on our subsequent ghost hunt.
Yes, because that's not a repeatable experience that we're necessarily ruining for people who go and do their own hunt.
Exactly. And it certainly won't seed any ideas for people to use in later events.
So yeah, we had a host whose name was Cag. She seemed pretty experienced.
Yes.
She talked a lot about how she's done international ghost hunting tours and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been a slight detriment to our experience.
Let's just say that she's had an awful lot of experiences. She's had an awful lot of experiences in the National Railway Museum, which from here on out I think we're going to call the NRM. Unfortunately, that leads to much of the tour being her experiences in the building,
Yeah.
rather than what dark and grisly fates may have befallen people in and around the trains.
Yeah, it seems... I'm not sure if we are now spoiled for the kind of tours we got in Tasmania, where they had a lot of history and records.
Yeah.
And whether or not their stories were authentic, they still presented them quite authentically, that you went, oh, I understand, like, that priest, we know he existed, people have seen a ghost, that's his ghost.
Yeah.
Compared to these, which were, well, this wasn't really where the train stopped. The lines, like, used to end 50 metres up the road, so someone died here, and it's like, oh, it was very vague sometimes.
Yeah, where the old terminal was is now the current police station in Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that.
So they said that they had done a lot of, well, not even a lot, they had done some research very early and determined there had been lots of deaths there, so we're happy to jump right in with using that as a location.
It would have been nice if we heard about any of them.
Yeah, I think that was the only issue with this one, is that we didn't hear about...
Now, to be fair, I think we did hear about 2 specific ones, and they were shockingly graphic.
Yes.
And well presented.
Yes.
So, kudos to that.
You know, it's interesting because Z Ward had the same thing. They say that the records are locked by law, they can't access them, so they don't know who anyone is. And Z Ward just seemed to land that idea better than this railway museum one, because this one was just too vague.
I mean, what you do know about Z Ward is it's a horrific old asylum.
Yeah.
What you do know about trains is...
They kill people.
They're trains.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be people getting injured around trains when there's, like, no workplace safety or regulations around them. And those were the descriptions that we got.
Yeah. Now, the site itself is almost fantastic. Like, shining torchlight down long, dark aisles of trains with machinery all around you is a certain vibe.
Yeah.
I think I'd say there's 2 things that ruin it, though. One, there's skylights all throughout the building, so it's never actually dark in there.
And a lot of stories revolve around shadows, which unfortunately the second skylights are involved.
Yeah.
I can't take what you will from that, listeners.
And it's also, like, it's a modern building. It's a modern warehouse that these trains are in. So there's safety exit lights everywhere. There's nowhere that you can look that isn't
lit.
That it doesn't have some light somewhere helping you get through the area.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that. It's just a bit of a shame.
Yeah. Maybe in a smaller, more intimate group.
Yeah.
You could... We had a huge group, 21 people. So it felt busy.
Yeah, it did. It felt more like CAG was giving a presentation rather than sort of chatting to us in a spooky capacity.
That's not a complaint for me for the company or anything like that. It's just an observation of the space, and would it be creepier if there was only 2 or 3 of us? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily going to happen unless you were very lucky with rolling up and a bunch of people had cancelled and it was just you and the the tour guide.
Now, much like complaining about the traffic while being in traffic, we can't complain about there being too many people there while being some of the people there. But the amount of people there will come up again shortly as well, I think, as a detriment. But the other thing that does ruin the atmosphere a bit is the bird scarers that they've set up around the place. Like, obviously, they're trying to deter birds from trying to nest in all of these old engines, and they've done that by piping in bird noise from, I guess, predator birds.
Yeah, to make it sound like scarier birds already live there, so other birds won't come in. But that just means that constantly the entire night you are there, you are just hearing bird call.
Yeah.
And it's the same bird call.
It does loop after a while.
Yeah, it loops. So you hear it and you're like, oh my God, I've heard that bird the same. It took me a while to realise it was a bird scare and not just birds nesting in the building.
Yeah. You walk in there and go, oh no, this place has a bird problem.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't.
No, it has a bird solution.
Yeah. To be fair, CAG did tell me that she knows where the switch to turn off one of the bird scares is, but she can't find the switch for the other bird scare.
Which is probably for the best.
Yeah.
Okay. While we're still talking about the ghost tour portion of the evening, shall we talk about, I suppose, our favourite and least favourite bits?
Sure. I know what yours is, so why don't you go first?
I think I'm going to go least favourite bits.
Okay. Sure, get it out of the way.
While we're on a bit of a tear here about complaining about this stuff. The whole podcast will not be complaining, I promise. This tour had the most attempts at getting the guests to experience something as part of the tour. Now, when you're there in the ghost hunt, obviously everyone's there for trying to experience something. But on the tour, Z Ward and the Old Adelaide Jail, they do a lock-in the end of the tour at some point, where they just put you in a room by yourself
In a cell,
for 5 minutes just to see what it kind of feels like. Lets your imagination run wild a bit. You start hearing things, you start seeing things.
But also, I think, helps you form an empathetic bond with the people who once actually did experience being locked in those spaces, so that when you go to do the hunt, you can feel, or you have some context of maybe some questions you could ask.
Yeah.
Like, I think that really helps set the tone for you personally to go, oh, imagine if I was just never came out of this room. Yeah. It's got context, I think, in those ones.
And it has a certain kind of, I hesitate to use the word novelty, of putting the guest into a situation in which they've never been before, hopefully, locked in a cell.
Yes.
I think everyone's been on a train before, though. And there's a number of places where you get left in a train carriage in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, kind of the dark. In the quiet, well, kind of the quiet. On your own, well, kind of on your own, because there's only 3 carriages and 20 people. So you're sitting in a somewhat lighted, somewhat noisy carriage with a couple of other people just sitting there trying not to make noise.
Yeah.
It gets a little more awkward than spooky, in my opinion.
I think, rather than do least favourite, this is the perfect opportunity to transition into my most favourite part of the tour. Because we have apparently had wildly different experiences with the first lockdown.
Yes, that's right.
Because I had, I guess, as close to paranormal, I think, as you can probably get without convincing yourself you have seen something. So,
Amber, ever the skeptic, what did you see? What did you hear?
I didn't see anything. So, for context, you were in the ladies' carriage.
I was a man in the ladies' carriage.
I was a lady in the gents' carriage.
Yes, which is, I think, an attempt to provoke...
Yeah, the spirits that we are in the wrong place.
Either the spirits or the guests to feel like they're in the wrong spot.
Yes. So I was in that carriage with 2 other people.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 other carriages that were full to the brim.
Yeah. Dining carriage and music carriage.
Yeah, ours were the 2 smaller groups. Both the other people in my carriage said they saw a ghost who had been set up by the host earlier in the evening.
Yeah.
A man in a top hat. Now, they both claim they saw him. I think that claiming to see a ghost that's been seated by the host earlier in the evening is
mission accomplished from the host.
Yeah. And also these 2 girls, remember, had also claimed to see someone underneath one of the trains earlier that evening.
Yeah.
So they'd already experienced something that evening, and then they saw something else.
Yeah.
So I won't say that they did or didn't see anything. I was in the same carriage as them. I was facing the opposite direction to both of them. I didn't see a ghost.
Aww.
What I felt, I will say, was that about 2 minutes into the 5-minute lockdown, the air became super thick and heavy. Now, at no point did I feel
you haven't
like...
caught my asthma, have you?
No. Now, at no point did I feel like I wasn't getting oxygen. Mm-hmm. But it felt like, imagine trying to breathe in, like, maple syrup or something, and you have to, like I probably shouldn't do that on mic, but you have to, like, inhale, and you are inhaling the thickest air ever. And it's warm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it was like
Amber.
that for about 90 seconds.
That's the most horrifying experience anyone's ever had. Breathing in ghost farts.
So, like, for about 90 seconds, I would say it was really hard to breathe, but not in a way that would suggest there was a lack of oxygen or my lungs weren't working. It was just physically hard to pull the air from out of the atmosphere because it felt heavy. That's how I would physically describe how it felt.
That sounds horrifying.
And
that's
then,
your favourite bit of the night?
And then after that 90 seconds, it went away and the air was clear and cold and crisp again like it had been for the rest of the evening.
Mm.
Well, I guess it has to be my favourite part of the evening because it was an experience that I would say was solely unique to that particular moment. Mm-hmm. And the 2 other people in my carriage, now, I probably should have asked, hey, how did you guys feel about 2 minutes in?
Yeah.
But I asked, hey, at about 2 minutes in, did you feel the air get really thick? And both of them went, yes, I felt that. And,
oh, no.
And I realised after I said it, I was like, well, they are just going to yes and.
Yep.
And then they claimed they saw something, so then it kind of became, well, they saw the ghost. Did I feel the change in the carriage when the ghost was there? I was just looking the wrong way, so I couldn't see it. And was it the ghost doing that?
Yeah, now the conversation is, okay, so we're assuming the ghost was real.
Yes.
And
did that to the air, and that's why it was hard to breathe. But, I'm very skeptical when I come on this show. I usually have an excuse for everything. I don't know what it is that causes the air to suddenly be like that.
Nope.
Can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
I have no explanation for that.
Okay.
Aside from that's not a dissimilar experience to an asthma attack. But
I never at one point felt like I couldn't breathe or I wasn't getting oxygen.
Yeah. So while you were having your best moment of the tour,
Yep.
I was having my worst, sitting there in mostly dark with a green exit light shining directly in one of my eyes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Now, the tour was overbooked. We might have been the reason for the overbooking, so that's not a complaint.
Yeah.
It's just a shame.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had your best, my worst.
Yep.
What's your worst?
My worst, I think, in general, was the amount of unrelated stories. Stories that just didn't have anything to do with the location.
Yeah.
Or were just so vague that could be just anything. I know that there was a story that you didn't like, and I didn't mind it, which was about the people with cameras. Didn't mind that story, because at least it was about the location.
Yes, yeah, that's fair, that's fair.
Whereas I felt there was a famous one, I think we can talk about it without spoiling because it's not their story. It's a famous one about an aircraft that crashed, and they put parts from that airplane, the crash, into other airplanes, and then the guy who was the pilot haunted those other airplanes. And then it was like, so people haunt vehicles. And I was like, no, why are we wasting our time on a story that is...
Yeah, again, I'm not trying to spoil anything for the tour, but this was in connection to one train that had crashed and then part of its engine got put into a different train.
Yeah.
And now that train appears to have some activity around it.
That's
Could this be the reason why?
Yeah, but that's the story. For me, that's the story.
Yeah.
You then don't need to tell a different story.
You don't need to tell a story about fucking Eastern Airlines Flight 401 that's been so thoroughly debunked.
Yeah.
Now, granted, she didn't say this story was true.
No.
Just that it was famous in ghost circles.
I will point out, all of her storytelling was great. She's got a good manner, I think, in delivering.
Yeah.
She isn't my favourite tour guide we've ever had, but I still thought she was experienced. And, obviously she didn't write this script.
Yeah.
That they have to do, but I just felt that there was a lot of time spent without any specific stories or historical moments that it could have been. So that was my least favourite part.
Yeah, the evening did reek of padding a little.
The
unrelated story.
lockdowns reeked of padding as well.
Then there was 2 separate lockdowns.
So 10 minutes of our night was sat sitting in the dark.
Yeah, and another 10 minutes was dividing everyone up and organising them into who's going into which carriage.
I can't tell because my other honourable mention to least favourite moment, waiting in line to go into the carriage.
That's it. That's my favourite. Well, not the waiting in line.
Yeah.
And again, I can't complain about waiting in line because there was just so many of
people,
us.
which is
it's
fine.
Uncontrollable.
Yeah, so your favourite moment then?
My favourite moment, because it's a moment you can only have at this location.
True.
Is they've got one carriage that is open. It's like a long seating cabin. If you've ever played the train level of GoldenEye 64, you know what I'm talking about. It's one thin corridor on the outside of the train, and the rest of the carriage is taken up by small
compartments
with 2 seats in them each. Okay, maybe a Hogwarts Express
just a
scene where Harry meets his
not
his
first
buddies.
class. It's like second class. Oh no, it's even better than that, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, private rooms down one end of the carriage.
Yep. Now this is probably the darkest spot of the tour because all the lights are off in this carriage. It's up against a wall, so there is some ambient light getting in,
Yep.
but not much. There's some light coming through the windows that are through the rooms.
Yep.
And you get to walk through the length of that hallway, one by one, in the dark, by yourself, in the quiet, with just the creaking of an old cabin around you. Creepy as fuck. I loved it.
Oh, wow. We had different experiences for this.
It felt to me like staying at your grandparents' house in the dark. You need to get up and go to the toilet or go get a glass of water or something in the middle of the night, and you're trying not to make too much noise because you don't want to wake anything that might be there. But you're also unfamiliar, and you're walking through this darkened cabin with a little bit of moonlight coming in, or ambient exit light coming in, feeling like this corridor's just going on forever and ever, and getting glimpses of the rooms alongside you, and you keep getting a new room every time. Every room you pass feels like, is there going to be something in this one? What about this one? It's so old and wooden and creaky that the floorboards are creaking like in front and behind you as you're walking through it, because they obviously run the length of the carriage.
Yep.
Like, as you were walking through, like, I knew you were about halfway through, but I could still hear the creaking right at the back of the train.
People claim they can hear someone walking behind them.
It does give the effect of there being someone walking behind you for sure, especially with the echoes.
Experience with this.
And it was the first time that I felt on one of these ghost tours, like, there's something there.
Oh,
There
okay.
could be, is there something creepy here of like, I gotta go, get through this. Don't
Really?
look at the cabins, don't look, oh fuck, what is in, no, just keep going.
Oh, wow.
It freaked me out.
Okay.
It transported me back to being like 5 years old in
wow.
a creepy, uncomfortable old wooden house or something.
Okay. You didn't say that the other night.
No, I wanted to save some of this for the microphone. So what did you feel walking through there? Because you went first. Well, you went ahead of me anyway.
Yeah, we were like almost last.
Yeah.
What did I feel? Well, anxiety and socially awkward, because I'm like, oh shit, everyone's waiting for me to get through because there's been a lot of people and it's been a long time, and I should really get through here so that we can get the other people in here and we can get on.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of that.
First of all, that.
Yeah.
But second of all, went in, oh, this little room is open. I should have a look in there. No, Amber, you've got to go. You've got to keep walking. You're not allowed to look in there. You need to go.
Yeah.
So that if other people can have their turn and we can move on with the tour, because we're killing a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Then having immediate regret that I didn't investigate the open room more. Then spending the entire time walking down a train going, is this door open? No. Is this door open? No. Is this door open? No. Trying to find another room that I could go into because I had regret that I hadn't gone into that one all the way down the end. But I will say, it did have the feeling of like, you would think that you would see from one end of the carriage to the other in a straight line.
Yeah.
And you could just see through to the end and walk straight down. It oddly is a weird space that feels almost curved.
Yeah,
like you're
it's
going
clearly
around,
a straight line. It has to be a straight line. It's on a railway
track. It does
track.
feel a little bit like you are going around a corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say I experienced that, but unfortunately my dumb brain was like, you're holding everyone up, Amber. You're the reason. Like, I just couldn't turn it off, and I was just like, just get through and get on, and we can get on with the tour. Yeah.
Turns out they were about to waste a whole lot more of our time.
I got off out at the other end, and Cag was like, oh, is there still more people coming? And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the line was long, yes.
Yeah, the setup was very much like going to a water park with a water slide. Like, come on, let me through. And they're like, no, we have to wait for the previous person to come out before we send you in.
I've got to see them go past the designated point in my peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Honourable mention to the people that apparently come on the tour to just take photos of the trains at night. I love that. Good for them.
Yeah.
There's some autistic people at work realising a way they can get into their precious trains. And I love them for it. It's a compliment. The power of train autism will not be stopped when it comes to, like, figuring out how to see your trains in different conditions.
Choo-choo, motherfucker, coming through!
Yeah, I will get in to see those trains at night.
And there will not be another person in these photos.
I will post my photos of those trains on our Facebook group, and everyone will be jealous of me that I found a way to get into the trains at night. And then subsequently start booking their own slots in the tour.
Nobody mentioned the gremlin in that train. All right, I think that probably concludes everything that we should say about the tour portion of the evening.
Yeah.
Whereupon, about half the people left? And we had a group of...
9.
There's 9? Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, so 11. So, yes, there was 11, and then CAG was the 12th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
It is. And again, we were some of those people.
We are the problem, yeah.
We are the reason it was slightly overbooked. I fully admit that. But boy, those trains are pokey.
Yeah.
There were some locations that we would do in the ghost hunt that was uncomfortable to be in, just physically instead of spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah, I think it was hard to, like, try to turn off. When you're doing a ghost hunt, you feel like maybe it's more of an intimate affair. You are trying to make a connection with a spirit to get them to do something or to get that effect that you're talking to them.
Yeah.
When there is 12 of you, it starts to feel crowded. And I will say, we weren't all talking over one another, though.
No, there's so many people that I think the bystander effect kind of came into play. Yeah. So many people just like, well, I'm not going to say anything because someone else might want to say something. Yeah. But everyone was doing that. So it kind of just fell to Callum Amber and I to say everything.
The others were occasionally dropping things in, but not to a huge extent. This comes back to the lockdown, I think, in Z Ward and the jail, which I haven't done, but having more effect in that they've taken time to gather some empathy for the spirits you're trying to talk to. Yeah. So when it comes to thinking of questions to ask them, you're ready. But we had spent so little time in the tour establishing any kind of person or identity.
Any potential individual spirits.
Yeah, that when it came time to then start finding them and talking to them, we honestly didn't know what to say because we hadn't been seeded in the tour what to ask them, like, were you on the train?
You like trains, do you?
Did you work here?
And, oh, fuck. Sammy. The prisoners and the inmates might be, assuming ghosts are real, might be stuck in their specific place, their specific cell, because they have had so much experience with that place. It's where they are mentally stuck in life and therefore in death. So the people who are stuck in the trains, does that mean that they are the aforementioned autistic train aficionados and therefore not the chattiest bunch in the world?
I think it got established again that this was not the location of where the train stopped. This was towards the end of the line.
Yeah, this was just like a dockyard, like a receiving yard for the trains.
So when you're like, oh, did you work here? Because you don't know anything else to ask them.
Yeah.
Which I think it is the tour's job to set you up with the information you need if you're doing the hunt.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you have the experience that we had last night where everyone asks the same 2 to 3 questions over and over and the host's like, can you say how many people are here? With just the most generic baseline questions. I think at Z Ward we had a much richer, well-rounded attempt at asking questions.
Yeah. Now, I think we should probably pause because this may be someone's first episode of our show, and it may have been the rest of our hunting group's first Adelaide Haunted Horizons hunt, which, now when you hear the term ghost hunt, what comes to mind? What are you expecting to be doing?
Which, I will say, the host tempered expectations early.
She told us what it wasn't going to be.
Yes.
Quite clearly, which is, the Zach Baggins, like Ghost Hunter, like
Yeah,
YouTube abandoned building
Instagram,
exploring,
TikTok stuff that's
cheated,
all
faked,
fake.
edited.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not even an attempt at that. We're not running around a building with an EMF reader.
No.
What we're doing is more akin to a seance.
Yeah. Most ghost hunting, when you do it somewhere like this, you are stationary.
Yeah.
You are seated in one location, attempting to get results from that location.
And what Adelaide Haunted Horizons do is provide a whole goodie bag full of gizmos that react to different stimuli.
Which I think is great. That's my favourite part, is here's the gear.
Yeah.
I like seeing that, I like working with it, except for the Nightmare on Elm Street
Oh, we'll get
themed-
to that. Oh, no, hold that. Yeah, so if you are in the mind of enjoying ghost hunting equipment, you are spoilt for choice.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a little bit of kit to go put somewhere that they can keep an eye on. Or
I got the best piece, my new favourite piece of equipment, and I really wish we could afford to get one. Maybe I can beg you for Christmas to get me one. The Epoch box. I love it.
yeah, it's just a box that randomly says yes, no.
Yeah, so sometimes you might say a statement and it'll be like, no, no, no. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's this really brusque American accent coming out of the
I
thing.
love it. It sounds really sarcastic, like, yes, yes. It's a little...
Even when it says yes, it feels like it's mad at you.
It's funny because we recently watched Project Hail Mary, and sometimes it was... I was saving that one.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. Well done. Well done.
So I really enjoyed it. I got to hold that. I loved every time. It was like, no, no. Because as the host says, it sometimes sounds like it's just being contrary to you.
Yeah, it was good. It did run counter to some of the other equipment that we had.
Yeah, I don't think it should be on all the time when you're doing other verbal input stuff.
No. Now let's give a quick snapshot of the other equipment that we had. Mm-hmm. One was a spirit box.
Yep,
which
classic.
We'll get to. It does become a focal point of the hunt.
Yep.
Good choice. We had the usual bits and pieces that pick up EMF, vibrations, temperature. One thing that's like a theremin that's got lights as well as sound.
Yep.
The aforementioned Nightmare on Elm Street proximity detector.
That made it's like a little lullaby. Normally it plays a little lullaby, which we also did have one of those, like a little music box. But this one just plays like the stinger from Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'll drop it in here if I can. It's the in-universe children's rhyme from Nightmare on Elm Street referring to Freddy.
Right. It never went off.
No, it went off so fucking much, though. It picks up any tiny amount of movement from anywhere. So you got to put it so far away from you so that it's not picking up you.
Yes,
And it's so loud to accommodate.
CAG was really great at establishing the fact these are train carriages we are on. They will rock, they will move, so a lot of the equipment can't come anywhere near it because it's just going to go off, and that's a false positive because it's just the train moving. Like, great. Again, I love expectations being set. I love those things happening.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was we sat in... I can't remember what exactly it was.
It was a brake car.
Brake car. Very confined, very...
Uncomfortable, nowhere to sit. We'd just been walking around for 2 hours. We wanted to sit down at that point, and there was 2.5 seats for 12 people.
Yeah.
To be fair, in retrospect, CAG did give us the opportunity to choose where we wanted to begin the hunt, and I, suggested there because that seemed to be the most haunted carriage so far.
I'm sure you'll agree. I think the main thing with these ghost hunts is we start out really general. Just put the equipment out, and then we start asking and seeing if we can get any responses. None of the equipment went off. None of it.
Nah. We
And
were
then-
trying even electronic voice phenomenon, so recording us asking questions, listening back to if there was
yeah.
an answer, nothing.
And I get it that I think ultimately the spirit box is the shit, nothing's happening. These people need to get their money's worth. You will always get some value out of the spirit box stuff.
That's so
we'll
good.
go do that and everyone will get, an experience because you can't not get an experience. Well, I mean, yeah. But I don't mind that approach because I do understand at the end of the day they are a business. And I also now realise that when we did Z Ward, we actually got a lot of the EMF stuff going off. But in a shed, in a train...
Yeah, in a metal train, in a metal shed, not a single blip from anything EMF, which was my biggest surprise of the evening. Because as soon as I realised how close we were to the police station, I was like, these things are going to be pinging off all over the place, aren't they? No, not a single one.
No, nothing. Nothing ever went off, which is actually is crazy because, when we were at Z Ward, stuff was going off. And at the time, the host said, wow, you guys got more stuff going off than most tours get. And in my mind, I was like, they say that to everyone on every single tour. Well, no, shit. Maybe we did actually get the Christmas light things going off every now and then, like something was there. And yeah. I think that just given the nature of the heavy metal of the trains and the shed, no way would things were getting into those
it is a shame. The EMF stuff ain't going to work because you're in a train. The physical detection stuff ain't going to work because you have to put it outside the train.
Yeah.
So what are you left with? You're left with a video camera, which was running pretty much the whole time.
Yes, it was, which was pretty funny. I won't share why I think it was funny, because I think that is a surprise of the tour. But there was a certain element that just made it so funny. Do you think we can say?
I think we can say.
Okay.
Someone who works the day shift at the Railway Museum had put a life-size plastic sculpture of a camel
Next to one of
next
the trains.
to one of the trains.
So
Which already is a jump scare when you look down that station.
Yeah.
And then when we were inside, just this camel head framed in the window next to us.
Which was funny because from my perspective, you couldn't see the camel just regular. You couldn't see it. But when you looked through the infrared video camera we were using, there was just a camel looking in through the window as she was standing right in front of it doing all the description of what we were doing and giving us all the information. Just a camel looking through the window at her.
Hey guys.
Yeah, a couple of times I just zoomed in on the camel's face and zoomed out. I don't know if they watch that footage, but if they do, they'll see it.
Oh, I hope so. So yeah, you were in charge of that camera for a little bit, right?
For a little bit. And then it was like, why don't we share the camera around? And I gave it to another guy, and then he just took it for the rest of the evening.
Yeah. I think he did a fair job,
it
especially
was
filming
fine.
the next bit.
Yes. So nothing happened in that carriage. So it was like, oh, okay. And I think she was like, maybe I wouldn't have minded trying somewhere else some of the other equipment, but she was straight into, right, let's do the spirit box.
Yeah, let's do the spirit box. Let's do it here. And I think this might be my favourite physical setup for the spirit box.
It was fun.
Z Ward, we had big, long, open corridor person with the spirit box with noise-cancelling headphones on. So all they could hear was the broken radio spewing nonsense into their ears down one end of the prison and everyone else down the other end.
Yes. Did they have blindfold on in Z Ward?
No.
Or was that something we did here?
We did that here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just check.
Because we are so close to each other.
Yeah.
So the setup they had here was one person stayed in that brake carriage, sitting down on one of the few chairs there was available. Mm-hmm. Everyone else left that carriage.
Yeah.
And went to the next one, which had a view down into the carriage, but there is a very definite physical separation of the two. You got to get down off the train, walk down up another set of steps to get into it. So while they're still close and within view, the kind of emotional separation between the two carriages was palpable.
Okay. And also the other people on the, like I was with the group, and we were all sitting like facing inward to the train looking at each other. along the edges of the train. So we're not sitting facing the person who's got the spirit box.
No, we would all have to turn our heads to look down the carriage and see the person, which we could easily. And the guy with the camera was facing it down there. Good on him.
That's good. No, I liked that. We weren't all just staring.
Yeah. So one of the other people went in there first.
Yep.
She was just as enthusiastic as I was about getting to do this, and that's fine. Let her do it.
Yeah, because I've
done it before. I've done it plenty. It's fun, so I want to do it. But I'll let someone have first dibs. And she got a few things said.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of activity.
No, long gaps. I think, unfortunately, that's the only problem with the spirit box, is when the person who's the spirit box doesn't say anything. However, I get it. That just means a ghost isn't channeling the spirit box for them to say things.
That's what it means.
Yeah, but it does unfortunately leave everyone else sitting there, because once you've asked a question, you don't want to ask 5 more, because then you don't know what the answer is to.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the epoch box in your hands is given off yes, no,
yes, yeah.
in response to nothing.
And so then you're getting hang on, what answer should we be listening to? The box or the person?
That did get a little confusing.
I would turn the box off during those in the future, I think.
Yeah. So she came back. She, I think, was a little freaked out by being over there alone.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've had a lot of experience with these things now, and it's creepy doing it.
Yeah, it is.
At the best of times in a brightly lit lounge room. But in the dark, so then it was my turn to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fair to say I was chattier.
Yeah.
I was probably the chattiest of the evening.
I did it later.
That's true. But in the break carriage, at least, the spirit box was set to different settings than I was familiar with.
Yes.
When we did it at Z Ward and when we've done it here, the spirit box is cycling through different frequencies of the radio. We had it set to do that a little slower.
Yeah.
But she had it really cranked.
Yeah.
It was flicking through a lot. It was very difficult to hear any words. So I was a lot less confident about anything I was saying. But that's kind of the point as well. If you hear something in the fuzz...
Yeah.
It doesn't just have to be a word from someone speaking on radio that's popped out. If you kind of hear the word... station, kind of in the fuzz or whatever, you're gonna say it, because you're in a train. But it did mean there's a lot of mental energy going on trying to figure that out.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You get a lot of tunnel vision while doing that, even though I could still see you guys in the other carriage, kind of moving about a little bit with some of the lights on in there. A lot of my energy is focusing on the lights on the radio and trying to tell if you guys are signaling me at all.
Yep.
Meanwhile, my peripheral vision was having a fucking field day in there.
Right.
Because there's stuff. Like in Z Ward, it's a big empty corridor.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing there.
In our lounge room, I had a blindfold on.
Yeah.
In that train carriage, there was other seats, there was a bit of lights, there was some definition, there's stuff stuck on the walls. One of the seats to my left... Whenever I wasn't focusing on it much, I could feel like my brain trying to make sense of the blur it was seeing over there. And I know academically, I'm looking at the shadow from the seat and a piece of A4 paper stuck on the wall saying something like, please don't sit on the seats. Right?
Yeah.
But if I'm not looking at it and it's in the dark, my brain's going, is that a person?
Yeah.
Is that a white face on a black body? What is that? And I could look over and go, no, that's a seat and a bit of paper.
Yeah.
But whenever I wasn't looking, which was most of the time, whoa, that was really getting weird.
That's cool.
So that was my favourite spirit box session I've ever done.
Say that to the group, though.
No, because I'm not seeing a ghost. I can feel my pareidolia sense figuring it out. I can look at it and go, that's a bit of paper.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a rough, I will say. I was asking a lot of questions in that particular session. Yeah, because you were over there, and it was just me and the host trying to carry... Yeah.
Now, we haven't talked yet about what happened. What potential conversation you had with the potential ghosts I was channeling.
Yeah.
We're going to save the end for the end. But what did happen over there? I remember saying train, station, something about a priest, a lady's name, cheating, perhaps?
Yes. So the main thing with yours, well, for me, the main thing was that you channeled a priest again. And I would say that I'm not sure, maybe, I don't think listeners of this show are going to be so specific as to go back and listen to our conversations about previous spirit boxes. I just feel like you've channeled a priest almost on every occasion.
Yeah,
but I would
it's
say
almost as if there's a radio station out there in Adelaide broadcasting church hour every hour.
But that doesn't mean that the rest of us have been channeling. I didn't channel a priest. Like,
no, that's true.
You seem to get priest a lot. It was the standard.
Hang on, I've said the word priest in 3 different.
Yeah, but I think that's a pretty good coincidence, even if it's just a coincidence, right? It's still pretty high odds of all the words in the world that you can come out with, right?
A short, historically charged word like priest, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say that I think you are, channeling I just enjoy that. I'm like, oh, he's found a priest again. I think it was the standard sort of like, did you work on the trains? Were you catching the train? There was some kind of narrative about, yes, a cheater going to meet a woman or like her cheating on you or you cheating on her. It wasn't clear.
Yeah.
There were not, unfortunately, I wish I could say, yeah, there was this fantastic narrative. Unfortunately, no. It was the standard sort of, how many people are on this carriage? Yeah. Do you want to speak to us? Do you want us to go? Like, no narrative eventuated, unfortunately, apart from the... Oh, maybe you said Mexico. Was that you that said Mexico?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a... Oh, did you come here from Mexico? And then you said something like, even further. I don't know, but it wasn't connected very well the whole way through.
Ah, that's a shame. Well, it certainly ended with a bit of a bang, didn't it? Because I struggled with whether or not to say this word that I heard.
Yeah, because you did say it as a question.
If I didn't hear this word clear as day, I would not have said it. If it was a kind of maybe, kind of heard it in the murky, changing thing, I wouldn't have said it. But I heard, clear as day, deep throat.
Yep. And the carriage burst out laughing. Which is better than everyone going, like...
Yeah.
The reaction was to laugh, because you said it as a question, I think.
Yeah.
Which broke the ice on it immediately, and everyone was like, oh, we can laugh, because even he knows that's...
Yeah, like, should I be saying I heard
I will
deep throat?
Everyone took that, apart from the host, everyone took that really well and laughed, and it was okay in the room, because that's hard with strangers.
Yeah.
But no, they were all having fun, so they were all laughing. And the host was like, oh, well, I think that's enough now.
Yeah, well, I'd been there for a while. It was time to wrap it up anyway, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that does speak to the fact that if a seance feels like it's going sour or uncomfortable in any way, those hosts are professional enough to shut it down at that point. They know when it's not a good vibe. So, kudos to them. And yeah, I'd had my turn.
And I loved,
to move on.
Somebody on the other side of the row to me in the room just went, oh, we've all been there. You accidentally say the word deep throat and it kills the vibe at the party. So that was it. Everyone laughed. So it was taken as a joke. Everyone was fine, and we all laughed and moved on. What a great joke! I thought that person said it.
Yeah,
said it really well.
Ah, good on him.
Yeah,
and this is one of the reasons why I cannot recommend doing a seance enough with friends, even with strangers. It's just a fantastic human bonding experience.
Now, apparently, there was a separate group that were doing a 3-hour hunt instead of a tour and a hunt.
Yes, that's true. You can just book a hunt if you want.
So they apparently got foursome in the same carriage doing the same thing. Yeah. So at the end of the night, there was a bit more ice broken of like, oh, we got a naughty word as well. Oh, okay, something was really going on in there tonight with the, which is
cheating
great.
It's and Madeline or whatever the name was.
It's good when everyone can sort of take it light and not take it too serious. And we did have one, remember we had it at Z Ward, and it got quite heavy because it was it was quite a darker version of deep, like, not of deep throat, but, like, it wasn't taken light like a joke.
Yeah. Listen to our Z-Ward episode for more info there.
So then we moved and we went back to the carriage where we had seen or experienced maybe the
Mr. Top Hat Man
ghost earlier. Unfortunately, I think maybe we'll just move on from that because the person doing the spirit box in that one just said yes or...
It was very monosyllabic.
Me or something like that a couple of times the whole time, and the rest of the time we just sat there in silence.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and I cannot blame... If it's your first time doing spirit box, that thing was going at a clip that I was having trouble with.
Yeah.
So,
you just move on. It didn't work. Don't let it drag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough balance to strike, I think.
Yeah.
Because it does take some effort to set up all of the equipment around the carriage, around the station. But at the same time, that is the thing where everyone in the group is actively participating.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, maybe you do actually want to do that as many times as possible.
Yeah, or don't move, just rotate the person. Let's see if they've got an easier time channeling somebody else.
I think if you've got like 5 people in the group, yeah, rotate through. But there was like, 10 people?
11, yeah.
There's no way everyone was going to get a chance on the spirit box.
No.
So get them doing something which is repositioning the equipment.
Yeah. And then finally she was like, okay, well, let's move into the dining carriage, which is just the adjacent carriage, so we don't have to go far.
Yeah.
And she was like, does anyone else want to go? And none of the other people did. They said they prefer to be experiencing the questions.
Yeah.
So I said yes, because I wasn't going to say yes if somebody else who'd never done it before wanted to do it. But when no one else wanted to do it, I said, yeah, I'll do it. If we need someone to do it, I'm more than willing. So, yeah, I was the last person to do it in the dining car, and this was our last activity of the night.
Yeah.
So I was down one end of the dining car, and I was probably the closest to everyone of the evening of all the versions that were in.
Yeah, we were all in the same room.
Yeah.
For the first time. I think much like when I was doing it, not a lot of narrative happened.
Yeah.
It did get a little bit musical at one point.
Okay.
I think one of the things you said was very confidently, head. And there was a bit of silence in the room. And one person in the corner went, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And everyone was like, oh, thank God you said it.
Yeah.
We were all clearly thinking it.
Yeah.
And then another few times, possibly because we're listening to the radio, which includes songs with lyrics that we're all familiar with, a word would come out and then someone would then say the rest of a common lyric that was connected to, which is not any kind of communication with the spirit.
No.
But is a bit of fun.
Yeah, which is fine if you, yeah.
And then you said behind you. The mood changed immediately.
I think I said stop recording.
Yes, I don't know what order these happened in.
Stop recording was first. I remember behind you being quite late in the...
Yeah. So you did say stop recording. And now let's say that this is all legitimate and that we are speaking to a spirit in some fashion. Yeah. And that spirit has said stop recording. Now, at the very least, etiquette dictates that you turn the fucking camera off.
Mm-hmm.
But the ghost hunt process is to keep that camera rolling on everything.
Mm-hmm. I could get why.
So from a skeptical perspective, you go, no, we're going to keep rolling because, well, that's not really an actual person asking for privacy. But if you're buying into this setup, that's a person asking for privacy. And, well, isn't it more fun if we oblige?
Mm.
So I turned to Kag and I said, look, would it be more comfortable if we turned the camera off? And she was really reticent about that. Fair enough, because their policy is to record everything.
She is...
Whether that's for research or YouTube or just making sure that if anything were to go awry in the room, they've got video evidence of who did what.
She is alone with us.
Yeah.
In a room. If anything started going awry, you would not want to catch accusations.
Yeah.
You would want to say, nope, I've got it all on camera here.
But to her credit, she did turn the camera off.
Okay.
So it was off for the next bit.
Okay.
where you said behind you.
Now, again...
In my movement of turning my head to look behind me, my field of view passed Cag, and she looked so annoyed that she'd missed that moment on the camera. But I couldn't register that too much. I had to keep turning my head to check if there was some fucking spook behind me.
Yeah. Sorry, Cag. Now, as you said earlier, I heard behind you.
Yep.
I didn't try and make that up. It came through loud and clear. And
Yep.
it was two different tones, so I wouldn't say it was one person saying behind you.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Franken clip.
One channel was saying behind, the next one was saying you.
Yeah.
I remember hearing it, and it was that... yeah. And of course, I'm loving that.
Yeah.
Because I know that you're all... I'll point out, I kept my eyes closed because I was so close to everyone.
Yeah.
I closed my eyes for my session until towards when I was like, I've been here a while. I'm going to open my eyes so I can be watching for when we're going to wrap up.
Yep. And while everyone's looking behind us, someone in the room did then say, I just saw a face in that window quite clearly. I don't know who said that. I don't know if it was one of those girls. But oh boy, that was a fucking creepy moment one way or the other.
Because this is something like behind you, finger.
Finger was in there. Finger didn't really mean much to us at the time.
Yep.
Because someone just saw a head.
Yep.
Then Cag had an odd reaction to that I couldn't tell if she was kind of running on copium at that point. But she was like, I see where she's coming from, but she said something along the lines of, well, you can't have seen someone because we're above head height here. Which sounded like her shutting down, like saying, no, you didn't just see that. But also, doesn't that kind of point to, yeah, she just saw something spooky because she saw something she couldn't possibly have seen?
But also, if there was a platform here, they would be at the right height.
Yeah. But the way she was saying it wasn't like, oh, that had to have been a spirit because it couldn't have been a person. It was like, no, you didn't see a person there. Yeah. It's like, oh, she's really not happy about this camera being off.
Sorry.
And then we finished.
Yeah.
The end.
Oh. Doesn't that I feel like that kind of, for me, that kind of sucks. We got something going.
I know.
We got something going. Even if it's, even if you're a skeptic.
We got a real spooky
We've
experience.
Got something going on here. And then you just sort of,
So, I suppose we were the cause of that collaboratively.
Oh.
But, yeah, real
funny.
mixed bag of an evening that was.
Yeah, that's funny.
I do not regret it in the slightest. By the end of the evening, I had a lot to think about from the tour. Not all of it necessarily great, but a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And we got to give a shout out to your parents.
My parents? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for giving us the voucher that helped us afford. Not that it's crazy expensive, but it really does help.
Yes.
Thanks, Deborah and Andrew. Appreciate it. Love you.
Yeah, it was good to just be able to say, let's just go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a few left in Adelaide.
Yeah. So this tour certainly hasn't turned me off
from
joining further Adelaide Haunted Horizons tours.
Not at all. Like, I know that we had some critiques, but I think we have critiques of a lot of things, and there were a lot of fun moments. It definitely hasn't put me off going to any more.
Yeah.
I think that this is also the mixed bag experience of ghost hunts.
If anything, it makes me want to return to the jail and just do a hunt.
Yes.
There, which is something we missed doing the first time.
Yeah.
I am feeling I'll paraphrase the quote of, the supernatural is a spring upon which, if pressed too often, will become inelastic. Of like, if you do enough for these things, you start to see the formula. You do start to see the cracks.
Yeah.
If you try and ignore that, you can have a great time anyway. If you're interested, the full quote from Sir Walter Scott is, "The supernatural, though appealing to certain powerful emotions very widely and deeply sown amongst the human race, is, nevertheless, a spring which is peculiarly apt to lose its elasticity by being too much pressed upon. I'm interested to see what further tours can provide us. I'm more interested to see what further hunts / seances can provide us.
Yeah, I honestly think that I would be the most interested in getting another piece of equipment or two and just doing our own with friends, because I think that's what makes it the most fun. You know?
Don't like to call my shots too much or too strongly, but I think I know what we're doing this Halloween.
Yeah.
I think I want to make every Halloween on this show, I would like to do another seance.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do it more frequently than that, because again, I think it might begin to lose its novelty.
Yeah. Can we get an epoch box then?
Oh.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. Yes.
For my birthday, please.
We'll see how much they are. And we'll keep you all updated on another episode of
Second-Hand Haunting.
This week's tour of the National Railway Museum provided by Adelaide's Haunted Horizons. Episode edited by Callum Patrick for the P Zinner Podcast Network. Give us a like, subscribe, or recommend to a friend. It all helps.